Welcome everyone back to Spoiler Warning featuring myself, Tom Colohue. We are, of course, today going to be talking about the good old-fashioned wrestling and the insanity that sometimes comes with it. I'm just going to use one of those things. I don't know what they're called, but I've got two apparently, using one of those on the TikTok side. Anyway, welcome everyone on both the YouTube and TikTok side. We are currently live. We are going to be talking about wrestling, of course. One of our top stories is going to be about the path to WrestleMania for The Rock, for Roman Reigns. We're also going to be talking Rhea Ripley. There's reports about a new evolution, which I don't believe, for a reason. We're going to talk CM Punk. We're going to talk Shayna and Jade Cargill. So Shayna Basler, Jade Cargill. Thank you, Jess. Appreciate seeing you drop in and dropping a heart immediately. That's even nicer and very sweet of you. Thank you. We will be talking Carmella now that she has left the WWE, as well as plenty more. For example, Backstage on AEW's Tony Khan, Mickie James leaving the WWE once again, and a little bit of a preview as to what we are heading into for SmackDown tonight. So, we will of course be starting with Rhea Ripley, who after what happened on Monday night is no longer 100% guaranteed of a path into WrestleMania. Now, we have 55 people on YouTube already, 18 likes. Let's get those likes up. A little thumbs up can go a long way as we go through our first story. Let me know what you think of this one as we get through it, and let me know what works for you. So, Rhea Ripley has lost the Women's Championship to Io Sky in the build towards a WrestleMania match with Bianca Belair. It's a match I certainly didn't think would go the way that it did, particularly given how polite the whole thing was. It was literally just incredibly polite. We started out with, sorry, I cost you a match, I'm going to give you a championship match. And now she's lost the belt for being so polite and genuine. Now, Sky versus Belair is what's currently set for WrestleMania, but that is open to change. That said, right now, technically, Rhea Ripley has an open slot for Mania. She's never going to be missing from the card. She's too big a name right now, Rhea Ripley. The WWE would simply never take the risk of having her miss it. Now, Alexa Bliss could be parachuted in, but then why put her on SmackDown when she's only just returned, when Rhea Ripley is, of course, on Raw? Alexa Bliss seems more obviously lined up with the Wyatt Six. Over on SmackDown, that seems the most obvious choice. Just as an aside, give me a returning Becky Lynch. Give me Becky Lynch turning up on Raw this week and just saying, hey, I know you're free, I am too, and then we can have ourselves a nice rematch. I'd be down for that, just want to point that one out. But with Seth Rollins this close to being a heel, I suspect Becky Lynch might be returning heel. Just want to throw that out there. There is another option, and it's becoming an increasingly popular one, and that is the triple threat. These three are considered mainstays of a generation of women's competition in NXT. The three of them have a very close connection, and it would work extremely well for them if they were able to put that match together, given how well they all work with each other. The fact that Io Sky made her appearance in between Ripley and Belair at the Elimination Chamber event certainly serves the narrative more strongly that it'll be a triple threat. Now, I had heard rumours of a triple threat many moons ago, but at the time it seemed like it would be Ripley, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. So I felt like those rumours had moved on. Interesting now that we seem to be headed back to it. Going to say hi to quite a few people in the chat now. Welcome Mr. X, welcome Jess, welcome Everton. A lot of points there. Everton says, is the rumours of Cargill and Basler's backstage altercation real? Yes. More is coming, don't you worry, I'll be telling you more about that. On the YouTube side, we have Rickan saying, I read Malachi Black is heading to SmackDown. Any truth to that? Rickan, I need a source first and foremost, you know this. Joe says, hi everyone, welcome Joe. Iris says, give me some good news soon, Tom, and then drops a pig. Watch the pig is still in operation. Unfortunately, when it comes to Wyatt 6, we're still waiting. I do think we see something of them at WrestleMania this year. Ishii says, what about Alexa Bliss? I've just talked about Alexa Bliss. Backward says, hey Tom, how are you? Hope your week was killer. Was pretty good, was incredibly busy. It's been a draining one, but we got there in the end. Noob says, hello Mr. Colohue, how are you doing today? Doing very well, thank you. Carl says, there he is, hello my friend, as always, hope you and the family are well, Tom. Appreciate you for that, Carl, and same right back to you. Sean says hi, welcome Sean. Howdy, and Y6 has hit the like button, please do, 30 already, let's keep that going. And Michael says hi Tom, welcome Michael. On the TikTok side, more than 1,300 likes already. Great start, gotta say. Cal suggests Trish Stratus versus Rhea Ripley. I don't believe Trish Stratus was intending to stay very long at all. Calvin says, hey Tom, seeing Cody after Elimination Chamber broke my heart. Almost crying, telling Michael he's not the same person, he's not the person, with Michael consoling him. We will be getting more towards that story tonight. Cal says, how shocked was Backstage when Rhea lost? Not Backstage put it together. Alexa Bliss Gamer says, hello everyone. Hello Bliss Gamer. TJ says, hey Tom, great to see you. I told you that John Cena would turn heel to revamp his character. You did guess that correctly, yes. Bailey says, Becky and Bailey both seem to be out of a match. Not convinced Roxanne gets a Mania match without a title. If it is, it seems like the obvious choice will be Bailey versus Roxanne, but I do suspect what's actually going to happen is that's going to be pushed down into an NXT match. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily going to love that, but I do see that being more likely. Cal says, I don't think we'll see the Wyatts tonight, but we'll see a glitch. What are you thinking, Tom? The same, yes. I think they're building up to a WrestleMania moment with Alexa Bliss. TJ says, do you think we finally get the return of Uncle Howdy? Once they're ready and the storyline's in place, yes. Alex says, will Alexa Bliss be on SmackDown tonight? I expect her, yes. We have a troll who doesn't understand how reporting, journalism, or paper works. We have a troll who genuinely thinks that the only facts are on evidence papers. So you're not real, because I haven't seen an evidence paper of that. You don't make no sense. Hi troll, bye troll. Remember everyone, hi troll and bye troll. Helps the chat rate, and I appreciate it. Cal says, how's the house coming along? Going very well so far, to be honest. There's a few stalls, unfortunately, that we're encountering, but as far as I can tell, that happens to everyone. Drive-by says, hi Tom, do you think Roman will show up in the cage match between Punk and Rollins next Monday? Let's not bury the lead, mate. I'll come to that. Sean says, apparently John Cena set a Guinness World Record for longest babyface run in WWE history before turning heel. 21 years, 3 months and 23 days. Did you know that you have to pay for the right to be in the Guinness Book of World Records? You have to pay for it. Which is why that people only turn up if they already intended to. Murphy says, what do you think of the Hall of Fame inductees so far? Good crowd. One says, people were saying Rhea is being punished for... No. Kelly says, good evening, Tom. Good evening, Kelly. Cal says, it's a very odd decision if Rhea is left off the card. I can't see a world where it happens. I think it's more about respecting the influence and the impact of Io Sky than it is about doing anything that might harm Rhea Ripley. We will get to the Jade Cargill reports, don't worry. Spider Boss says, do you think Rhea will be added? I've already covered that. I Will Be Immortal says, would love to meet Triple H. Seems nice when you meet him. I've met him a couple of times, interviewed him twice, and quite happy about it. Everton says, will The Rock be Cena on the Raw international shows? It seems unlikely at this point. A lot of high troll and bye troll there. Ishii says, finally getting Wyatt 6 at a PLE. That's what I'm thinking. Cal says, I don't know if you saw, Tom, but the Wyatt 6 updated the bio. Makes me believe their website is going to have something on tonight. Their website? There's a Wyatt 6 website. There is a Wyatt 6 website. What a world we live in. TJ says, Tom, with the reports coming out that Bo's been cleared for an in-ring return, do you think he was actually injured then? I have no evidence that he's been injured or that he's been cleared since. I've never seen any confirmation either way. The other Mike says, what do you think the mid-card title matches will be at WrestleMania? 2 multi-men matches maybe, perhaps a ladder match? Yes. And no women's mid-card matches. Calvin says, have you seen the video of Superstars reacting to John's heel turn? I haven't yet. That sounds like it'd be a fun watch. Hello, Erin. Good to see you. Calvin says, quite rightly, and I'll talk about it a bit later, Lex Luger is going into the Hall of Fame. That has been confirmed in the last 3 hours or so. Cal says, I can't remember the journal. I'll try popping it in. But they said the Wyatts are now on course for a return with the WWE have multiple stories planned out. Now there's an excitement backstage. Right. That doesn't sound like a report. That's a difficult one to read because that very much sounds like a, well, we'll come back eventually and people are excited. Yeah, we are. That's not news though. Sean says, do you know if Cora is injured? How much with Jordan Grace was stopped? Yes, she is. Charlie says, hey Tom, I've seen you drop this in the chat a few times, mate. Welcome, Charlie. Good to see you. Bailey says, why does the Guinness Book think Cena has a face record when Bruno Sammartino wrestled as a face for decades with the WWF? Because it is the WWE who put that record in the book. Spider-Boss says, I was a kid when Cena was healed 21 years ago, now I'm 32 years old. Also asked about Carmella, who we will be talking about shortly. I'll Be Immortal says, cool, would love to make him a ring. Attitude Era was amazing. I'd imagine you're saying meet him. Triple H is one of those that was always something of a hero of mine. It was a dream come true to meet him and interview him, and another dream ticked off that bucket list. As with many more, to be fair. Blue says, hi Tom, Io has been the workhorse for the women this past year. Glad to see her rewarded. I wholeheartedly agree. And Cal says, do trolls realise they're benefiting you in the channel? Keep it up. Apparently, they don't. Because trolls are dumb. We know this. We have something here called chat rate. And the more people chat, the better. It boosts the amount of people who will find themselves in here. It does. And that's a wonderful thing, because it means that right now, not just because of a troll, but because so many of you are talking, we have more than 100 people watching. More than 100 people watching. The troll in question can't get anyone to even look at them. Doesn't even happen. Literally, the only caring they get is when people shout at them online. They're that pointless. I've got 104 people here right now. And that's not even counting the love on TikTok. 3,200 likes already. I ain't complaining. Let's keep those likes going, guys. 42 likes so far. Keep the chat rate up, keep the likes up. Before you know it, we will continue to see those numbers come up. I'll Be Immortal says, how did you meet him? I interviewed him on a number of occasions. First, after the NXT UK Cardiff show, when I interviewed him after that show completed. Second, before and after the NXT UK Blackpool show in 2020. So it was 2019, 2020, when I was working directly with wrestlers and with Sportskeeda at the time, who were able to give me the access in order to meet one of my heroes. Thank you, Mind Kid, for following as well. I appreciate you for that. Spiderball says, it surprised me, Io winning the title. I thought we'd be getting Rhea versus Bianca. Me too. And Everton, we will be talking about Rey Fenix shortly. Ooh, where was I? Ooh, so much happening. Chris says, after Punk name drop Becky Lynch, any news on possible return for AJ Lee? No news. It is exactly the same situation. To my knowledge, the WWE are extremely interested. She is not. There. I need to be over there. John said, did Io's win shock you, Tom? Were plans changed for WrestleMania? Difficult to say plans were changed, because to my knowledge, they weren't. They set the match up with an interest in making this happen. Thank you, Mike Kid, for sharing as well. I appreciate you for that. They set the match up with this in mind. There has been a pivot when it comes to Rhea Ripley. They weren't 100% sure what would be happening there, but it's around November they finalised plans. So I wouldn't say it's just happened overnight. Howie says, hey Tom, glad I was able to make the live. Welcome, Howie, good to see you, mate. And Ishi says, who do you see the Wyatt Six going after first? Alexa, I've been very clear on this. Cal says, I've seen Carmella get a lot of hate on the web this week. Yeah, she dared to question the WWE, which apparently is not allowed anymore. Calvin says, things that could happen tonight. Wyatt Six return, Bianca confronts Jade, and Rhea appears and attacks her. Cody gets emotional while addressing John and Rock. Also could happen tonight, we could see an explosion of flavour when it comes to Flavor Town, and Carlito cutting the best promo you've ever heard in your life. Anything could happen. Anything. Everton says Stone Cold helped Cody at Mania 41 in my opinion. I don't think so of his knees. And Spiderboss says it was surprising. Becky answered back to CM Punk's promo this year. It wasn't. Becky Lynch does not shut up. It's part of her character. Jack Burton says, hey Tom, you're awesome. Thank you kindly. Any word on maybe when we should expect to see the Wyatt Six? Again, I'm expecting to see them in and around WrestleMania time rather than any time particularly soon. Howie says, how do you feel about TKO trying to control territory companies? Trying to control territory. I'm not entirely sure what you're asking there, Howie. Are you able to rephrase for me, please? Carl says, it's cool to see the Wyatt be scanned. That Uncle Howdy figure is going to sell so fast. And Blue says, did you see Hater scooping SRS? Made me smile. Yeah, women are starting to clap back particularly. When it comes to wrestling in general, the men still seem to really want to talk to the establishment of journalists. The women are getting pissed off. TJ says, do you think Cena's run gets extended until WrestleMania next year as you initially speculated, reported? Is it a possibility as WWE were pushing for it? It is a possibility. WWE are still pushing for it. It isn't up to them. It is very much up to John Cena what John Cena does. His contract for this particular statement is only for a particular number of dates. Hey Ed, good to see you, mate. Cal says, Joe Gacy and Nikki posted on their stories on Instagram Wednesday pictures after the Wyatts defeated Gable. We're definitely close. Bam says, will Cena finish this year as a heel? I expect so, yes. Howie says, love your live, sir. Thank you, sir. And Cal says, do you see Will Ospreay and Chris Valvlia this week? A really fun chat. Yeah, I got a lot of time for the man. Really do. Spider-Bot says, the drama after Jade attacked Naomi and now Bianca costed the title to Rhea. It's interesting. Not an intentional costing, though. That's a difficult one to read. Bam says, did you see Chad Gable's segment on Raw? That segment was a tease. For what do you know? Already shared everything I already know on that one. Sean said, this is from Wrestling Observer, Tom. Thank you for sourcing. The plan was for John Cena's heel turn alongside The Rock to be saved for the WrestleMania main event. However, the decision was made on the day of Elimination Chamber for it. Nope. Already reported at length that is garbage. Dave has got that massively wrong. It was not made on the day. The Rock was already going for the main event. I'm the only one who reported it. And the Wrestling Observer is trying to save face for the fact that they reported incorrectly that the segment would be in the middle of the show. WWE got them. WWE got them. That's what happened. And they can pretend all they want that they've been right all along. We know better. The other Mike says, Fightful reported that WWE decided that night to turn Cena heel. Is this true? Nope. Already reported at length. They did not approach John Cena on the day and say, hi, do you want to turn heel? It was agreed a long time before. Everton says, do you think it'll hurt Cena's heel turn if he doesn't win 17 at Mania? No. Sean says, apparently Becky got attacked for a comment to CM Punk and the tweet was deleted. No idea about that, but what I will say, CM Punk gets people really edged up. Calvin says, wouldn't it be funny if Austin Theory started getting behind Cody? No. Calvin, you're obsessed with Austin Theory. He's not involved in this at all. Cal says he seems like a good guy. Does Will Ospreay just a dad doing what he thinks best for his child? I don't get why the hate. He's made some missteps. We all have at times. Charles says, happy Friday, Tom. Do you see WWE giving Obafemi the Jacob Fatu treatment? No. I see them giving him the Obafemi treatment, which will be different and bigger. Howie says, small indie companies who are trying to establish themselves, keeping the old school term territories out of modern times. Oh, this makes better sense. I'm picking up what you're putting down a bit better now. TKO want to basically monopolize wrestling. That's all it is. Haven't seen it, Kevin. Haven't seen it. TJ says, Tom, I had a theory how the Fiend would turn people heel. How about if Howdy turns people face? There was no intention for that to ever happen. That wasn't something they actually planned. It just happened that way, that the fans turned on anyone. The fans turned on anyone that the Fiend wrestled. It wasn't a case of the Fiend turning people heel. It was a case of the fans hating everything that was happening with the Fiend. Everything. I know a lot of people say they love the Fiend. Every single segment got hate. All of them. So, not sure on that one. Cal says, could you expect the Wire 6 to change once they're back, Tom? You spoke about phase, etc. with them being away for so long and now Alexa in it. Seems like a reset will be hit. The next phase was going to be the addition of Alexa. I mentioned in all of my reporting that Alexa Bliss would be involved with the Wire 6. That has been proven correct and we will see that in action shortly. Backward says, I laughed so hard when I read Dave's report because I watched your live when you discussed it. Well before. Sean says, Dave also said Travis Scott injured Cody during the Cena heel turn. Nope. Blue says, Rhea cost herself. She cost Io her qualifying match, leading to her giving Io the title match, and she started the fight with Bianca. She really does have no one to blame but herself. Blue says, Cena turning heel felt obvious when he made his best for business argument for not having to qualify for the chamber. Once you look back, there were huge hints. The mention of best for business, I remember saying, how did I not see it coming when he says that? Spider-Bot says, do you see Becky facing Lia at WrestleMania 41? Not anymore. Michael says, Mr. Chris the Informer was trying to tell Carmella herself on Twitter that she was demanding a limited date contract. Funny, because I'm pretty sure the term limited date contract came from spoiler warning. Ain't no one else saying that. Now, as regards Carmella, we will get to that. There was, of course, an ongoing negotiation, but the WWE shut it down. We will get to that in more detail. Miguel says, Spider-Boss says, Alexa's move, Abigail DDT, is certainly a good tribute to Bray. Yes, it is. And it's always an emotional moment when she uses it. Roman Reigns. We are heading into WrestleMania and it is time for Roman Reigns to return and get involved with Seth Rollins and, sort of by accident, CM Punk. The WWE see this as a perfect transition. Firstly, away from Rollins versus Punk, which they've done to death, and into Reigns versus Punk, but also leaving a door open for Rollins to be the third member of The Rock and John Cena's new heel crew. This would then lead to Cena and Rollins versus Punk and Reigns for a while. Now, the plan here is a difficult one. It's a difficult one. We are heading into a situation whereby Roman Reigns is going to be a pivot point. But the story is not about CM Punk or Roman Reigns. It's all pivoting around Seth Rollins and his hatred. It's vital that he's able to keep that hatred up as they make this pivot. That's the entire point of the triple threat. Now, I do see a world in which during WrestleMania and before the main event, okay, we do see Seth Rollins joined by The Rock and John Cena to pick up a win on this match. That then leaves a very wide open door for a moment in the main event when we have The Rock, John Cena, Seth Rollins trying to win the match for John Cena, but being stopped by CM Punk and, of course, by Roman Reigns. Then we get a stare down between Roman Reigns and The Rock before we then get to finish of the match between Cena and Cody Rhodes. I still have Cody winning. But a lot of this is based around the impending return of Roman Reigns, who is now a proven ally of Cody Rhodes. Suddenly that tag match makes so much sense. Cal says, the mention for best for business, just putting himself in the chamber and taking advantage of Punk after the stomp, there were signs. Joe says the term best for business is always a clue, and it really should be. Bam again, I've spoken at length about what's going on with Chad Gable in the WrestleMania preview as well. Pardon me, might be worth checking out. You will note that the troll has given up because they realise the pointlessness of their existence. Calvin says we all saw the first two signs of John turning, one not qualifying, two winning after Seth stomped Punk's head in. Cal says PWInsider reported a few weeks ago about how Carmella was asking for a contract similar to Bliss, but Bliss can bargain with the WWE. She's seen as a star, where Carmella unfortunately isn't. I've also reported the same. TJ says, Tom, I honestly genuinely believe the seeds for a Cena heel turn were planted during the Firefly Funhouse match. As Cena said himself, he and Bray came up with a script for that match. Cal says, can R-Truth be the third member? Nobody might think he is. Sean says, Stephanie Vaca said on a podcast she was given the choice of going to main roster or NXT when she signed. She originally said main roster, but chose NXT so she could learn English, work on TV. A number of wrestlers are making that choice now, and it is an option available. Julia, for example, also had the option of going straight to the main roster. Jordan Grace, to my knowledge, was also given the option. Everton says, as regards to heel turn, absolutely cinema scenario, get the popcorn out. It's as regards to the WrestleMania main event that I've mentioned there. Spider-Boss says, I certainly see Roman attacking Seth at Raw on MSG next week, and that's what I see as well. 117 people on YouTube, 53 likes, 2 more gets us to 55. Let's hit that thumb. On the TikTok side, thank you so much, everyone. Already 4,000 likes. If you've not joined the YouTube side from TikTok, check us out. We are worth your time. We do a lot of videos that you might enjoy. If you've not joined the TikTok side from YouTube, check us out. We do a lot of short form videos that you might enjoy. Cal says, I think we'll see Stone Cold. Marcel says, I can't wait to see Cena live at WWE Raw in Brussels. Sean says, I wonder if R-Truth will want answers for why John turned. Cal says, I worry Cena and The Rock are going to beat down Truth. The crowd would really hate them both. Oh, bless. The troll was in the background waiting for an opportunity. Waiting to feel like someone cared. So cute. Cal says, I worry Cena. I already read that one. Sean says, do you think Seth wins the steel cage match? Dunno. I just think there's going to be a Roman. And TJ says, did you grow up being a John Cena fan? No, I stopped watching wrestling well before John Cena debuted. King Azza says, Tom, do you think Cody versus Cena match will be overbooked like last year against Roman? Yes, because that was amazing. If you watched, spoiler warning, in the build-up to that match, I told you everything that was going to happen. Every single thing that was going to happen. I laid out exactly the match that they produced. You can go back and you can check. I told you every single thing that would happen in that match. I spoiled it for all of you. And we still loved it. That, for me, is the proof in the pudding. If a match can be spoiled and you still enjoy it, that's a win for me. Bailey says, unfortunately, a woman that is not well known, that goes to the main roster too early, runs the risk of becoming a Blair Davenport and getting lost in creative. True. Backwards says, how long do you think the WWE will stretch that story for, involving The Rock, Cena, Cody, Seth, Punk, Roman? The year. Everton says, Seth last week, don't make me hate you, Cody. Then in Mania, he will hate Cody, which leads to a tag. Shao Game says, sorry if this was asked already, but do you have any updates on AJ Styles and his contract negotiations? Nope. Still very much in play. Calvin could not care less. Sean says, I believe LA Knight vs Shinsuke for US title was announced as a main event. I wonder if WWE will do another title change. We're going to find out. Cal says, it seems like the news about the wives has been kept on the quiet. Is that intentional, Tom? Yeah. If you know everything they're going to do, you're not going to tune in and watch it. It's not difficult. The other Mike says, I know you said what you think Cena's heel run would last, but I'm going out on a limb to say we see a double turn at Mania. Backward says, interesting. Any idea what the Mania 42 main event is? That depends entirely on the availability of The Rock. Okay? They still want to do Cody versus The Rock. They still want to do Roman versus The Rock. They want to do Roman versus The Rock after Cody versus The Rock. But they're getting to the point now where they're just going to have to agree. No, Chris, I'm not aware of any heat on Camille. She just didn't land where they wanted her to. There's this idea many people have that if someone's not on TV, they must have got into some huge personal altercation backstage. And it's just not true. We don't see a lot of huge personal issues backstage. You don't see many fights. You don't see many issues. And almost every fight you've heard about is completely false. Anyway, Shayna Baszler and Jade Cargill had a massive bust-up mid to late last year backstage. This stemmed from a match where Jade Cargill had told Shayna Baszler not to go easy on her, and then apparently had become upset when Shayna Baszler did not go easy on her. The issue was such that WWE felt the need to separate the two properly, as in keeping them away from each other when there were intentions for more tag matches and more work between the tag team of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and of course Pure Fusion Collective. There is a belief that this might have indirectly led to the release of Sonya Deville, as Pure Fusion Collective may have received less TV time, giving Sonya Deville less opportunities to show what she is there for. The issue is not fixed, which is why information is leaking now, and there has been some talk of this continuing at this point, because the WWE want to give options, but right now they unfortunately do not have this match as an option, so it is one of the reasons they are considering a change of brand for one or the other, but not both. One or the other, but not both. Everton says Cody legitimately wanted Cody to turn heel, but Cody refused. They then pivoted to Cena. Cody did not legitimately want Cody to turn heel. It's not how that one goes. TJ says, Tom, do you think Punk will use his favour in getting to the main event of night one with Punk, Cody versus Cena The Rock? How? How would he do that? Genuinely asking you that question. In what way does Paul Heyman control the main event of WrestleMania? So many times I've had to say this. So many times. Appreciate you, Cal. You saw what I was going for. Cal also says WrestleMania 65, The Rock versus Cody might potentially happen. That'd be an interesting one. Drive-By says, what are the chances we see The Rock, Punk and Seth match instead main event of night 1? It's possible. I think it's going to open the show personally, but night 2 for me. Drive-By says, I've already read that one. Bam says, any new updates on where the Backlash PLE is headed on? Nope. Got nothing on that, unfortunately. TJ is talking about Mike. Andrew says, we are Infinity War, Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 39. Endgame last year, Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania 40. This year will be Avengers Doomsday, Cody versus Cena. Age of Ultron. Bailey says, how close is this channel to 10,000 subscribers? Just under 100 subscribers away. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, I do apologise. Mark Firefly Forever. What can I say? I believe in the Fireflies. For that subscription. We do spoiler warning twice a week, and I hope you enjoy it. De Niro says, what about Stone Cold? He is a wrestler from Texas who now runs a number of different companies, including podcasts and beer. Gavin says, we also saw Cena almost turn heel in his feud with Kane in 2012 and one time on Piper's Pit. Almost does not count. It's like losing your virginity. Okay? You either turn heel or you don't. Some people like Drew McIntyre turn heel and somehow still end up not. It's weird. Cal says, I remember you speaking about how you like the idea of Gunter always losing at Mania. I like the idea of Punk never winning the Rumble or Chamber, just never getting the main event at Mania. I would also very much enjoy that. And I think at this point of his career, so would he. King Azza says, I don't see both nights of WrestleMania ending with the faces winning. I see Jay beating Cody and I see Jay beating Gunter and I see Cena beating Cody. Bam, I've already shared everything I have on Aleister Black. I was a person reporting for months that he was coming back. Appreciate you, Carl. I'll try and make the show entertaining. People seem to like the sarcasm. Spider-Boss says, grass wasn't greener on the other side for Jade Cargill. You say that, but she got a huge pop. And Everton says, Cody's had 3 amazing Mania main events versus Seth, Roman, 2 about to be 4 with Cena. Cal says, for example, Punk having losing streaks after January till Mania, just an obstacle for him. Yeah, I'd be down for that. I think there are times when wrestlers should get stuck in their own heads. I think there's scope for it. We are moving on now to the situation with Carmella. Carmella has left the WWE, with WWE not said to be interested much or at all in a contract extension. There were negotiations that took place. Carmella did put forward a pitch that was similar to the Alexa Bliss contract after she discussed her contract with Alexa Bliss. The indication seemed to be that she and Alexa essentially debuted at the same time on the main roster, which they did, and that they've both held championships and both went off on maternity leave around the same time. There was some very strong moments for Carmella. But unfortunately, WWE sources have indicated to me that had she been active with the company, they probably would have released her with the latest batch. The belief is that they have more than enough women's talent ready to come up, and their creative had already run out of ideas for Carmella, whereas with Alexa Bliss, not just from things like the anime that she's voicing at the moment, the WWE would benefit by her stardom. I personally believe it's a shame. I believe fans really connected with her, particularly the time she spent with R-Truth. But with what's in the pipeline, I didn't necessarily see things working out, and I think this might overall and long term be a better move for both. Carmella's future plans seem to involve leaning more into her presenter and influencer credentials. She wants to be more of a microphone person rather than a wrestler. As regards Corey Graves, this goes a long way towards explaining some of his recent frustrations with the WWE. Some of his recent frustrations certainly make a lot more sense now. Spider-Bot says Roman saving Cody is surprising, especially after their WrestleMania main event. It's not when you factor in that he did the same thing as SummerSlam. Cal says, how loud do you think the pop will be for the Wyatts? I believe it'll be incredibly loud. We'll see. I think some of the initial love has faded. Ishii says, could we get Roman versus Rock next year? Already answered that question. Cal says, do you think Corey Graves will stay? Yeah. Andrew says, Cena using the iconic Harvey Dent quote on Instagram was fantastic. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Marcel says, are there any wrestlers angry or disappointed that Cena is getting the main event? No, not a single one. Not a single one. Everyone is thrilled with this. Everyone is happy and everyone thinks he deserves it. She says, we still have WrestleMania a month away, taking so long. It is. It's taking the exact amount of time that it usually takes for the dates to match up. But now it's later in the month, and I'm not ready for it. Calvin says, I can almost imagine a feud between Drake and Travis Scott playing out on WWE TV. No. Dinero says, is Cena going to attack R-Truth? Probably. Bailey says, wrestlers can't work forever. Carmella is 37 and her time may be up. The dropped foot didn't help, which is true and a concern that the WWE had. Before she left on maternity, she did pick up a number of injuries and they struggled to really get her involved. Michael says, that sucks. Carmella seemed like she was loyal to WWE. She was. Cal says, I think it's faded. This is regards to why it's 6 in the IWC, but the crowd just loves them whenever they show or anything involving with them, which is true. Shargain says, Chelsea Green and Piper posted some cryptic tweets regarding the Jade Shayna story. Do you see it's evolving into a bigger problem, or are they just trolling? They're just trolling. They're 100% just trolling. Spider-Boss says, Carmella would have been a good opponent for Chelsea Green on SmackDown. Without going into too much detail, the WWE, or some in WWE, believe that Chelsea Green is an upgrade on Carmella. That's all I can really say. Anonymous says, do you think AJ signs a new deal or leaves? Personally, I think he will sign a new deal, but I do believe that the WWE are not necessarily willing to offer him the amount of money that he expects at this stage of his career. Next up, we're going to run through 3 things quite quickly because you're going to see a similarity. Firstly, WrestleVotes have confirmed my report on Rey Fenix being an option for the WrestleMania card. Thanks for the credit, WrestleVotes. Secondly, PWInsider have confirmed my report that The Rock will be in the corner of John Cena at WrestleMania, but not wrestling. Thanks for the credit, PWInsider. Finally, Fightful Select have confirmed my report that they were never planned for Drew McIntyre to win the men's elimination chamber. They just waited until after the event to say it, whereas I made it clear beforehand. Thanks for the credit, Fightful. I can also confirm some of the reporting as regards Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Both of them were considered to turn heel and ally with The Rock. However, Cody Rhodes is not interested in turning heel. What I will say as well, John Cena was always first choice. No other options were ever seriously considered, and they did not get to the point where they were actually scripting a storyline that involved Cody Rhodes turning heel. They didn't get there. Cena was said to be thrilled with the offer and glad of the chance to finally do something different. It was not a last-minute decision to turn Cena heel at Elimination Chamber. That is people desperately trying to pretend that they knew when they didn't. What else we got? Dinero says, is Truth going to team up with Cena? No. Cal says, I hope Carmella thrives and whatever is next for her. She's one of the good people. I very much agree. Jan says, I see Becky Lynch returning after Mania, going after Liv and then Rhea. I could also see her being in The Rock's group. Cal says, it's almost like those behind a paywall are fans of spoiler warning. Rickham says, do you think John Cena gets a new theme song? No, people are well trained to do that already, so I'd stick with it personally. Roy says, I don't get why WWE gave Alexa Bliss a new contract and not... No. We're not doing that. We're not hoping for people to be released. We're not going to do that. The other Mike says, the issue is between Jade and Shayna only, or are the others involved like it was reported by Fightful? To my knowledge, the main issue is between Shayna Baszler and Jade Cargill, but as I did mention, there is an opinion that it may have gone towards Sonya Deville's release, which is making the situation worse. Bam says, did you see that Cena is advertised for SmackDown episodes after WrestleMania and also for Saturday Night Main Event? Yeah. Danelle says, why has Roman only made 2 appearances this year? Is he low on dates? He's saving the dates for later in the year. He's going to be involved a lot more this time. Issue, appreciate that. And Steve says, when is John Cena going to show face on WWE TV to explain why he's a real piece of for doing what he did to Cody Rhodes? He's a heel now, so probably not anytime soon. Cal says, I don't think anyone should celebrate someone losing their job unless we are celebrating Brock Lesnar losing his job when his contract expires. Once again, it's been nice seeing people confirming my reporting about Brock Lesnar. months after I reported it. Andrew says, Becky Lynch's tweet was interesting before she deleted it when Punk told her that he'll put Seth in a wheelchair. I think I might get Punk, AJ versus Seth and Becky down the line. Once again, WWE are interested in AJ. AJ is not interested at this point in WWE. No, Cal. Alexa Bliss would not wear a mask. There might be moments where she wears different makeup or some sort of crown, as she has previously, but Alexa Bliss knows better than to cover her face. That's all I'll say. Little update as regards AEW. Backstage, AEW's Tony Khan is receiving a lot of plaudits from wrestlers and production staff right now. He's believed to be becoming a lot more relaxed about the idea of AEW as a competitor with WWE. This is one of the reasons he's now more willing to release wrestlers. He doesn't see them as indirect competition. He is recognizing that AEW is the second place, and right now his focus is on seeing off a challenge from TNA. Instead, from what I'm being told, Tony Khan is very happy with the work that they're producing. I give him credit because AEW are doing good things right now, and honestly, now that the pressure has dropped from chasing WWE, I think everyone seems a lot happier. I've also done some digging as regards a report that's making the rounds, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to let you know a few things. I've done some digging on a rumoured report. A number of outlets are stating that there is a report on an impending Evolution 2 PLE coming on July 5th, 2 days before my birthday. The source, PW Nexus and Body Slam. Both of them, for some reason. How can it be both? First and foremost, there has to be a source. But it's not PW Nexus and it's not Body Slam. You will note that there is not an individual named. Nobody is saying Tom Colohue, for example. If you dig a little deeper, you'll see that the source is actually a non-credited member. You don't know their actual name. It's a member of a Discord shared by PW Nexus and Body Slam, who goes by the username Cody Rhodes. There is also no evidence of prior accuracy from this user. Why the hell is anyone reporting this shit? Why is anyone reporting this? It's a random user with no evidence of reliability from a Discord that already has been proven wrong on a number of occasions. What is happening with this idea that all this news is coming from Discords at the minute? Doesn't it sound ridiculous? Ridiculous. That says Big Up Tom. You're right, mate. Do you know if Rey will have a match at Mania? Yeah, there is talk right now about Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio's routes to WrestleMania. Dominic will be getting a match, and it looks like Rey will be involved in that once again. Oh, interesting. Thank you, TJ, for bringing that to us. It says, John has said in an interview with Chris Van Vliet, if he ever were to turn heel, he'd want to use his unreleased track from 2012, Fear My Name, see the light of day. That's interesting. Michael says, a tweet from Shayna is being retweeted on my timeline. Ropes issue, but Zoe Stark nails 3 perfect springboards, MVP status from June. Shot at Jade with her slipping off the top rope. Yeah, I remember that moment. Wasn't good for anyone. Wasn't good for anyone. Not sure, Steve. That's not a information I have. That's not a news story I have any information about. Cal says, did you see AJ Styles and Chris Van Vliet talk about how angry he was at Hogan when he was in TNA and felt like Hogan led to TNA's fall? He's always been very open about that. Always. Michael says, you're saying Cody Rhodes isn't a credible source. I know, right? Cal says, does this mean I could technically become a journalist, Tom? Journalist? No. But you could become a insider. All you have to do is guess, lie, and do it loudly. Some of the biggest names in wrestling news are those people. Then it looks likely that there will be pay-per-views for September. They will be doing one after SummerSlam after all. No, Sid, I haven't seen that. Few things left to cover before we wrap up. The WWE did indeed release Mickie James from LFG to make room for Michelle McCool. This has been taken as a really big piece of news and The Undertaker essentially swinging his dick about. But to be clear, this isn't that much of a story. Mickie James is said to have only really committed for one season anyway, and the WWE are happy with her commitment and with her involvement, but the WWE did believe that she wouldn't stick around for too long anyway. It has been confirmed in the last few hours that Lex Luger will be joining the Hall of Fame. All I've put as a note here, based on what I've been told, is that there are a few people kind of worried about him and thus eager to get him in the Hall of Fame now and not risk doing it later. I'll say that. Then I don't have the information as of yet. Just catching up. Cal says, I'm now an insider. I believe John Cena will be at WrestleMania. Nailed it. Michael says, do you think Tony Khan minds that Mercedes is wrestling on House of Glory with JD as a commentator? No. What? No. It's all good. Everything that happens with a different sort of competitor is backed up. They will have spoken about it. Bad Boy says, is Alexa going to feud with Liv for the taking her 2 times elimination Ravage? No, there's no real feud there. Bailey says it's all clickbait with these insiders. It wouldn't take much for someone to proclaim WrestleMania 43 will be in India or Saudi Arabia and it would get clicks. To be fair, if the Wrestling Observer did it, they'd also get clicks when they said, that report is garbage. Whoever reported that is wrong. Just Ken says, Luger in the Hall of Fame is a long time coming, so happy he's getting his flowers. And Sid says, pardon me, are you happy that the natural disasters are going to be in the Hall of Fame? Haven't actually seen that one yet. Everton says, is Triple H angry he didn't get Okada, Ospreay and money in WWE? Again, pardon me. Angry? No. He's moved on. SmackDown tonight will feature the return of Cody Rhodes. He will be live and in person and he'll have a lot to say. Braun Strowman will take on Solo Sikoa as we continue the build towards Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I don't necessarily expect Strowman to be on the WrestleMania card. Jimmy Uso will take on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest is where we're headed. As regards Jimmy Uso, I'm not sure he will make the WrestleMania card. Chelsea Green will take on Michin again. I don't think either of them will make the WrestleMania card. And Shinsuke Nakamura in the main event will defend the US title against LA Knight. Unfortunately, yeah, I think that's been kicked off WrestleMania. So, awkward. TJ says, Tom, do you think Karrion Kross joins Judgment Day as a 6th member? No. Kel says, I can't see a world where AJ doesn't go back to TNA. He's got some issues there. And that is going to be our show. We've been live for 48 minutes. We've shared plenty of pieces of news. Be sure to check out more from this channel as we release more videos. We will, at the end of the month, have another fake news video come out, so you can check that out. But in the meantime, I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.